I'm Chris McDonough, a retired homicide detective. I've interviewed thousands of people, from serial killers to ministers. Welcome to the interview room. Aloha, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the interview room with Chris McDonough. We're grateful you're here. And this is live from the great state of Texas in the back of my Airstream. Now, this is a green screen behind me, but as we go along here, we're going to start dropping different backdrops on you. So tonight, I just wanted to throw up my office back where I used to live. And now, as promised, I'm on the road. And so a couple of shout outs to everybody here tonight. First of all, to our mods, we love you. We're grateful for you. I'm so appreciative of the many things that you do for us. And just you keep our community classy and you keep the conversation going great. So we appreciate that. Also tonight, a couple of shout outs to all the different folks from around the world and the country. I know we've got a lot of folks from Canada in here. We get a lot of Europe here. I see some, let's see, Australia. I love to see Country Girl 33, Leah Vogel, Judy. Welcome, Albie. It's great to see you guys. JRS. Miss Lee from Florida, thank you. Edgar Yo from San Diego. Christy C in Houston's in the house. Hook 'em Horns down there, pretty close to there anyway, in Austin area. South Africa's in the house. MH, thank you so much for being here. Let's see here, Sean S. and of course Miss Sophia. Let's see here, Sherry Kelly, Amy Hubbard, and Shannon Brown, and many other folks coming in. Wow, you know, while we were in Texas, also, I wanted to just tell you, we kicked off a new Discord channel. And the reason we did that is so you guys can call in and I can actually take your calls while on the road here. So when you get a chance, it's going to be in the link there. Take a look at it. Louisiana's in the house. Dimples, hello from Corpus Christi, Sandra. Sandra H., Louisiana girl. Great seeing you guys. Anyway, the Discord channel is going to allow us to communicate with each other. I absolutely love this technology. I mean, here I am sitting in an Airstream, and shout out to Airstream of DFW for hooking us up. I hope you've had a chance to go take a look at what we've got going on here, but it's absolutely off the hook. Dylan is literally right down the hallway here with Buddy, and I'm sure you all going to hear him coming. Karen Gillette from Utah, thank you so much for being here. Let me take a look at who else is in the house here. Thank you, Kindness. You know, this has been something that we've been waiting to do for quite some time. So we feel very, very blessed. But we're even more blessed that you're going to be able to come on the ride with us and the journey. A couple of things. If you're new to our channel and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so the next time I go live, you know, you're going to be there with us. And let me tell you, we've got a lot in the pipeline. And tonight is going to be an example of that. So Warsaw, Poland, Paul Kretsky, thank you so much, Warsaw, for being here. Kentucky, Judy, I'll be from Canada. Thank you so much. Anyway, so we're gonna rock and roll with this puppy, and we're gonna go to places that, quite frankly, I don't think the suspects realized we could come into their backyard. Not literally, but in their town. So we're hoping to bring that kind of information to you. Just the facts, we're not gonna speculate here on this channel. As you guys know, you're part of a very true community here where we're going to keep it real, but we're also going to try to help. That's the whole purpose of what we're doing here. So tonight, couldn't have thought of a bigger case to cover than Missy Bevers in Midlothian, Texas. And I actually went there, took a look at it, and we're going to show you what we are seeing, and just kind of analyze some of the behavior that I think the suspects, been displaying. So let's kind of tee up. We got D-Man in the back room up there. California's in the house. Thank you so much. And if you've been following this case, I know many of you know the ins and outs of it. Okay. So I think it's really important that, fresh eyes, in about 4 days, the 18th, is going to be the 5-year anniversary. And that's why I wanted to time this with actually being here in Texas during that anniversary. Somebody knows something, but more importantly, I'm not going to really focus on the suspect in the building. Okay? I'm going to approach this a little bit differently. Okay? If this was my call out and I wanted to see how this individual's thinking or processing, thank you, JRs, for that kind donation, then I want to be able to take this from that point forward. So with that, I want to start with where he started, or she. Okay, but I'll have some thought process on that. But so D-Man, let's tee up our first video here. Let's use ours, and let's take everybody to the scene. Okay. All right, everybody. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play this through for a second, and then we're going to do a stop start. Thank you, Marla Kay. I appreciate that. Okay. So let me ask you guys, can you guys see this clear? Are there any lags or anything? Give me a 1 if everything's working out okay so far, because I'm literally pulling on some Wi-Fi of some new equipment that we're testing out here. So if you give me a 1 that I know, then we're good to go. Okay, so Dill, okay, there they are. Thank you so much. All right, Dill, let's hit it. In Missy's case, let's take a pan this way. Okay, so this is the sporting goods store where the video that. Okay, so what this video is showing, I'm coming towards the sporting goods store. Okay, I'm on the 287, headed towards the sporting goods store. And this is where I want to start tonight. Okay, the reason this is going to be critical, okay, is because it could give us some insight into the methodology and the MO of this particular suspect. Okay, this is not a guy, and you'll see here in a little bit here. We're going to really break this down. We may have to do this in 2 parts, but I'm hoping to get through it, tonight. But we may have some more. Depends on how everybody responds here tonight. Okay, so let's go. So the suspect actually has to come up here. This is slow down. And we see in that video where he goes around the building. So we're going to actually go around the building in a couple different ways. We're going to do this a couple of times. Yeah, D-Man, can we turn up the volume now for them? What's interesting, obviously that night but he comes back here and you see him, he pauses, and there's the camera, which we're going to get to, and he sees a couple of cars right here. Okay, and he waits. Okay, now there's. Okay, let's stop right there for a minute, Dale. Okay, so what I'm saying here is, as I'm coming down the 287, I have to make a right turn into that sporting goods store. Okay, now that is the most recent video that was released, not long ago, and we're going to go through that piece of it as well. But one of the pieces of that video that's going to be significant here in a little bit is the fact that there are some behaviors taking place that, quite frankly, I think everybody's just ignored, right? But it's also going to show us what's going on up here in the bad guy. Okay, go ahead, Dill. And we're going to talk about that at length. He comes around the building here. You can see around you. Look at the landscape around you. It's pretty rural. And as I come around right up here, and I come around the front, you can see on the building here, we're going to come back the other way. You see the cameras up there. But you see over there. Okay, I'm pointing to the cameras on the building. And there I'm pointing to the church. It's about probably half mile down the road. The opposite side. Okay? Keep going. That's the church. Okay. But what's interesting, this is a one-way south and north. The suspect you're going to see in that video, he has to turn to the right and go up and turn around and come back. So that means okay, so let's stop, Dale. Now, I don't know about you, but when you see that video, and there's a couple of significant things that take place. When the suspect comes up to that stop, that intersection, unless you've seen it or been there before, you can't just go straight across. You actually have to take a right turn. And there is something that he does, or she does, I'm going to say he right now, that is significant. Okay? And I'll explain why here in a couple of minutes. Go ahead, Dale. The church. Before he decided to go to the church. That's an interesting thought. Okay, so let's go around here for a minute. So the suspect drives down here. You see him, he slows down. He comes up here to the sporting goods store. Thank you, Sophia. What he does, in my opinion, is crucial. Because he comes right up here and he comes right in here and he parks right here underneath this light. Okay, so stop, Dale. Okay, so what I just did there was the exact drive the suspect did that evening. Okay, he comes up the 287, makes a right turn into the sporting goods store here. And by the way, if you've not seen this from the area, that sporting goods store is just out there, right? It's just out there. And so he comes up, makes that right turn, and then he goes around the building to the back of the building, and then he comes around the back, which we did that drive together just now. But there's something he does that is significant. He stops, okay? And you're going to see that on the suspect's video. He pauses, and then he makes some decisions, and I'm going to point those decisions out for you. And then he proceeds around the building again, comes around to the front of the building, and just where I parked my truck, there's a street light there, okay, or it's a parking lot light. He parks underneath that light, okay, and we're going to talk about why that could be what's going on in his thought process. Okay, but Dill, let's show some more. So I want you to see, I'm going the opposite way now. I want you to see, I'm just going to kind of narrate this, what that building looks like from the outside. And then I want you to see all the different angles of the cameras. You can see the two cameras on the edge of the building there. Those are cameras that caught him coming around. Thank you, Christy, for being a new member. Great to have you here. Okay, and now you know, with a panned out shot here, you kind of see, you know, what's going on around you. You've got the highway to the right. You've got a little rural wooded area behind you. And now we're coming up to the loading dock area. I think this is a crucial pivot point for this suspect. And I'm gonna tell you why I think that, okay, when we get to the suspect's vehicle. This loading dock was significant, and here's the reason. One of the reasons why here, you see the car there. Okay. Well, a lot of folks have probably caught that, but why is it significant in criminal behavior in relationship to why he then chose to go around the front of the building, pause and wait? Okay. Hopefully you're tracking me here for a second. Okay. And we're going to talk about this, and we're going to answer some questions. We're going to take questions, like we always do. But see, this vehicle here, it's out there today. Okay. But that night there were two vehicles there that evening. Okay. And we're gonna dive into that in a second here. Okay. So we're going to go around the front here. Lots of opportunity for points of entry is what we call it. All right. POIs or POEs, point of entry. Darcy M, thank you so much. Grateful. So what's going on with where this guy's coming from? Or everybody thinks it's a guy, some think it's a gal. There's a, 2,000, 4,000 tips, I'm sure of it, that have come into this, hundreds of thousands of hours, and no sound on purpose, by the way. I wanted to narrate this. So now I'm going to leave the way the suspect left. Okay. Now what's significant is, look, stop it right there, Dill. You just can't cross that road. Okay. You have to make a right-hand turn. You have to. Okay. So now let's see right there. Remember, he comes up to that edge right there and he does something significant, okay, which is kind of minutia, but it's a huge detail when we're thinking about the way this person is thinking, okay? And what do you think it is? Okay. Take a guess. Everybody, somebody throw a chat up in, or throw something in the chat. What do you think it is? Okay. Well, everybody's been focused on his walk and his gait, okay, which is incredibly important, okay? But more importantly are the minutia things that this individual may have been doing. Okay. And so what he does? No, he turns his blinker on. And you're going to see that. Okay. Now, why is that so significant? Because it's a thought process. Okay. Thank you, Tingy, for becoming a new member. And what do I mean by that? Okay. We're going to be looking at organized and disorganized offender. Okay. And then we're going to start connecting some of these behavioral dots, what we call, criminal behavior analysis, CIA or CBA. Okay. And we're going to connect some of these dots on what this person is thinking that night. Okay. So let's keep rolling here. He knows the area well. Yeah. He's familiar with it. And one of the things I'm going to show you here is that's going to be really significant. And I don't know if a lot of people have caught it, but you're going to see it tonight. Go ahead, Dill. So he makes this right turn. He's got his blinker on, makes the right turn. Okay. Now, the blinker is just a behavior that throws off the good guys. Okay. And now he's got to come up to this intersection or this little turnabout. And now he's got to go back the other direction to go to the church. Okay. And so now we're going to the church. So here's the point. If he's coming towards the sporting goods store, he actually has to pass the church. Okay. That's significant. That is significant. Okay. There's the church on the right-hand side. Okay. We turn in here. Okay. Let's stop it right there, Dill. Let's pause it right there. We're going to come back to the church here. Okay. Now let's go to the surveillance video of the suspects that night. While Dylan's pulling that up, okay, we're going to notice a couple of things. I want to point out a couple of things about Missy. April 18, 2016, she's a 45-year-old mother of three, fitness instructor. She was a Camp Gladiator boot camp instructor and was going to teach at approximately 5 a.m. that morning. She arrives early to set up. And when her workout group arrive, they discover her deceased in the building near the front entrance, a separate entrance where she actually entered the building. The surveillance cameras within inside that building in the church appear to have captured the suspect walking around and doing various things. Now, before that, you can see now the suspect entering in this particular surveillance from SWFA, the surveillance film, from the opposite direction where this individual had to pass the church. Okay. Why is that significant? Okay. Well, in my opinion, okay, I'm going to point out a couple of things that are going to jump out at you here in just a second. Okay, go ahead, turn it on, Dale, and then I want you to pause when I ask you to. So the suspect's entering. Stop. Okay, conscious decision. Okay, conscious decision. Lights go out. Okay, why? Because we used to call this capering. Okay, the suspect is on a caper. Okay, he or she is surveilling a potential target. Okay, go ahead, play. Okay, stop. All right, now the suspect had two choices. He could have gone straight, which you just saw a couple of minutes ago, or he could have turned to the right. Okay, this individual chose to go to the right. So what is he doing? He's taking a position of advantage. Okay, so the suspect comes in. Rather than go straight past the building, he veers further out to surveil the building because now the building is on his left-hand side, just like I had filming that building. Lights are out in the vehicle. Okay, keep going. It's another angle. Position of advantage. And stop. Notice he has his brakes on. His brake lights are on. So what is he doing? Okay, he's slowing to see what's out there, i.e., cover and concealment, points of entry. He's blacked out, so he's coming in to basically case this business. That's what he's doing here. Okay, keep going. Okay, you can see he's still got his lights out. Cameras are just kind of catching him. Here he comes. Still lights out. See, he's position of advantage. Now stop. That's also in case, see the car starting to show up behind him, comes down the road. If that car were to turn in, he could have pulled into one of those parking spaces and played it off potentially. Okay, keep going. This is going to get good here in a second. Stop. Okay, notice the brake lights are on. Okay. What he is purposely doing is casing for points of entry into this building. Okay. Keep going, Dill. Okay. Keep going. He's going to come around. Stop. Now, this is going to be significant. Okay. Back that up just for a second. And everybody watch his brake lights. Watch the brake lights. Slow. Yep. Play it. Full speed. Oh, stop. Okay, stop. All right. So what does he do? Okay. Well, we used to call this sod, some other dude. Okay. Well, what he did is he came around that corner and did not expect those two cars to be sitting there. Okay. So what does he do? He pauses and realizes his lights are off. Okay, or he knows his lights are off, right? So what's he do? He changes the thought process. Click, the lights come back on. Why? In case somebody sees him from interior to exterior, he's just a dude coming through the parking lot. Okay, keep going. So actually, back up, Dill. Let's show everybody this whole sequence here. So when he comes back through, see, he pauses right there. See the brake lights on? He's paused, and he sees those two cars, and he realizes, oh, I gotta play the game here, and he throws the headlights on. Okay, keep going. Okay. That's the camera that's catching him. Brake lights on, brake lights off, headlights on. Okay. So now he's going to come around the building, but watch what he does. He doesn't leave because he's processing. Okay. Is there somebody in that building? And if so, he's doing a risk assessment. This suspect is doing a risk assessment about whether or not he could actually caper and make point of entry into this particular building. Okay. So what does he do? He goes around the other side and he's thinking about it. Do I go in? Do I not go in? Lights are on. Do I turn right? No. You know what? I may have a chance at this. See, the brake went off, lights went off. And look what he does. He turns around, comes right back underneath the street light. Okay, he's gonna park. And what is he thinking about, you think? I would submit to you, he's processing. Man, are they in there? Are they not in there? Meaning the potential employees for that sporting goods store. Okay? He is not on the hunt to kill somebody. Not yet. Look, he's going to come right around and he's going to play it off as if he's just here to visit and to buy something. He parks under the street light. Well, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, number one. Okay. Because he parks under a street light, but he turns his headlights off as if he's, he's just kind of playing the game as if he's there, right? But what he's doing is he's processing. If somebody from the inside can see him on the outside, that is criminal behavior at its highest point in terms of, elevator going to the top floor. Okay. This guy's elevator does not go to the top floor. Okay. Trust me on that one. Okay? So now he's sitting there. He's processing. What's my advantage? Because that's what he's doing. He's trying to get advantage here. And then he's going to make another decision. And that decision is going to be crucial. Okay. He's going to decide, you know what, this target may have too much risk. Okay. I.e., I could get arrested, captured, or whatever. Okay. But let's stop for a second. We have to ask ourselves now. Missy was at a church for a exercise program that she ran in the morning. Okay. I think it's pretty hard to mix up a sporting goods store, okay, that is a sporting goods store and not a church. Okay. So in my opinion right now, watching the first part of this and actually going there and seeing it, is this guy is looking for a place to burglarize. Okay? I'm leaning very heavily towards this is a now situation that turns into a not targeted but an interrupted criminal activity, i.e., Missy showing up when at a bad time when the suspect, as we know, was already in the building. And I'm going to show you a couple other things about this guy's thinking. Okay, keep going, Dale. Yeah, one of the questions, do we definitely know it's a man? No, we don't. But you know, this kind of behavior like this is more consistent with somebody that's been locked up, and I'm going to lean more male than female, and I'm going to qualify that as we get into the surveillance video inside the church. Okay, all right, yeah, could he have been looking for weapons? Yeah, absolutely, that's a possibility. Yeah, it could have been a gun hit of some sort if they had weapons in there. Absolutely, but look at he's paused there. He's waiting. Okay, see the cars going by, and what he's doing is he's qualifying whether or not what's his risk level. What's his risk level? And you know, he's waiting and he makes a decision here in a couple seconds. And you see all the cars in the background, you know, passing him. And it's pouring down rain. So he's processing, okay, whether or not he's gonna make the move on this. What messed him up and where we saw that behavior absolutely display itself was when he came around that corner and saw those two cars in that loading dock. Okay. And then you saw his lights go on because that was a conscious decision to go, oh, crud, something else is here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yep. He's looking for something or something. And that is going to be significant. I absolutely agree with what some of you are saying here. But there's also another indication on his behavior that he's not necessarily looking for a person. Okay, here he goes. And Dale, when we get up here, brakes on. He's got to come up. Okay. Car coming. We're going to see another angle of the car. Okay, he's going to pull out here again in this surveillance video. There's his lights that come on. Okay, too risky for me. He's going to pull out. And he's going to come up here. And now he's going to add a behavior, like I mentioned in a moment or before, that is indicative. Okay, stop. There it is. Do you see the blinker come on? Okay. This guy is not looking for a target. He's got too many small details that he's thinking about. Okay. Why is he turning on his blinker? To again lower his risk level. Okay. And he's not on the hunt. He's on the prowl. There's a difference. Okay. This is not a murderer, a serial murderer looking to kill somebody. Okay. Now, eventually he does kill Missy. Okay. But this started, in my opinion, as a profession, as a over 40 years almost. Next year will be 40 years in this business. Okay. This guy is an organized yet disorganized offender in his selecting of his targets. Okay, so yes, he's familiar with probably the geographic region, but not completely. And I'm going to show you why. Dale, pull that photo up of the car at the drop the video for a second. Pull the photo up. So I took a photo of the car stopped there. Okay? I zoomed in on it a little. All right, here we go. Go ahead, pull it up. All right, everybody, what do we see? Well, that's the car. But one of the things we learn about his behavior, okay, is the GPS on the dashboard. Why is that significant? Okay. So the robbery, robbery, burglary, he's looking to just steal stuff. Okay? You're right. I totally agree with you, Mimi. He's looking just to steal stuff. But notice the GPS light. You have the two brake lights, you have the license plate lamp, you have the brake light in the back, and then you have a GPS light up on top of the dashboard. And I kind of blew that up, that picture, and I can't really tell if there's a couple of middle digits, C5, or I don't want to speculate, but I looked at it pretty hard. And then there's a circle oval type of sticker, was probably significant because I noticed that that's definitely not a phone on the dashboard. That is definitely GPS, and you can see it coming in when he's got it on his dashboard. If you look closely, when you guys go back and watch the video again, he's got that GPS affixed to that dashboard. But the gear itself, we're going to get into that. Okay, so let's go back to that video for a second, Dill. Again, excuse me. I know you're jumping around, and I appreciate it. So this guy he's using a GPS coordinate. So what does that tell us? Okay. He could be familiar with that area, or he's looking for targets of opportunity. Okay. I would submit to you that's what he's doing. He's looking for a target of opportunity. And this is a Nissan Altima. The police are very, very specific about that. It's 4:00 in the morning. He's out, casing for a target of opportunity. Okay. But this guy is specific about using his blinker from this parking lot. Okay. Who's he turning it on for? Well, you see, in his mind, he's worried about the popo, okay? Or as everybody says, 5-0, okay? This guy's thinking about the cops, okay? That's what he's thinking about. And that's why these little minutia details are so significant. When he comes in, okay, he takes the advantage to go wide. He comes around and he goes, oh, crap, two cars. Okay, lights come on. Okay, I'm just, I'm just driving through the parking lot here. Around the building, wait a minute, maybe they're not inside. Okay, well, I don't know yet. Okay, so he goes around. I'll just park right here as if I'm, just here, looking for camping supplies in the middle of the night. Okay, parks, hesitates, turns off the light, waits. He's casing, I think, the area. It's just my opinion. Decides, you know what? Too risky. He turns out, and what does he do? He turns his blinker on. Okay, a blinker to turn only the same way. Okay, that is an unconscious decision that crooks make when they want to be just right in case the cops were following them. Okay, or in case the cops could show up. Okay, so run the video, Dill. There's that blinker. Now he's going to go around, and you just saw that he had to. This is a better shot. Yeah, he's going to turn that blinker on. You ready? There it is. Murderers don't do that. Not conscientious guys who are hunting. Okay, that those guys are oblivious to getting caught. They're thinking, okay, and they're methodical, but they've planned it out. Okay, this is not planned out. This is spontaneous. Okay, as this suspect comes around that corner, this is a spontaneous thought process that he's involved in. Okay, so he could have come from out of town. Yes, absolutely. Could have come from out of town. Could have come from Fort Worth. Could have come from, a variety of different places. Okay, so let's go back to now our video, Dill, of the church. So now this is coming into the church as if I was the suspect. Okay, and now stop. Whoops. Go back to the video. Yeah, there you go, pal. Stop. Okay, 3 choices in this one. Okay, I can either go to the right, I can go straight, okay, or I can turn to the left, which is visitor parking. Okay, so this suspect, we know, enters the building, okay, from the opposite side of where this is. This is the entrance that Missy goes through. Okay, and then she is discovered on to the right of this entrance here. Thank you, Swifty. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Okay, so keep playing, Dill. Okay, so if the suspect went this way, he's got a door there, point of entry. Keep going. He's got another choice there. Time for change. Thank you. And by the way, Mike Karen did some remarkable film work here. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little biased. Okay. Hey, keep going. Let it play. See, this guy has a lot of options. Okay. Now this door here, there was damage to that door. Okay. We know, according to reports. But now he comes there behind the building. Now, this is really significant. It's not just a door. Okay. Look at all the cover and concealment here for somebody. Okay. Let's stop. Okay. This is a full-on entry, okay, into those doors, which eventually was the point of entry into this building for the suspect. So to his right, what you're going to see is a whole bunch of places, okay, to park his vehicle. Okay, and that means, and so the question is, why would he rob the church? Great question. Okay. A couple reasons. Because they collect tithes and offerings. Monies could be in the offices. Okay. This church itself, okay, is it's when you see him in the church, or I'm going to use her for now. Okay. When you see them in the church, the person, okay, there's all kinds of potential things that they could be looking for, and that's the point. Okay, he went to the sporting goods store first. Okay, so the same question, why in SWAT gear? Great question, and I'll tell you, and I have a theory on that. Okay, so he goes to the sporting goods store with the intent of probably breaking into that place first. Okay. That target did not work out for him. Okay. So he knows he's got to come back because remember, he passed the church going to the sporting goods store. So I'm going to head more towards Fort Worth because that's the direction that he came from. Okay. So he passes the church. So the church is over here. Okay. He passes the church, turns right into the sporting goods store, and that's when he got spooked. But then he's got to turn right again and come back And now maybe he thinks, hey, well, here's a church. Okay, I wonder what they got. And this is when he goes in there. Okay, keep going, Dill. So now this is the back entrance of that church. And you're going to notice to the right, all of this area back here where he could have concealed that vehicle. Completely out of view from the 287. And that's why he chose the back of this building. The same reason he was probably going to choose the loading dock area of the sporting goods store, because it's behind the building. Now, this is the other entrance at the other end of this building. Okay, you can see that pretty clearly. This was not the point of entry, though. Yep. Marilyn, that's okay. There's no wrong answer here, okay? There's a couple of things going on here. Okay. Marilyn says she thinks she's a target, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm gonna weigh it. We'll weigh in together here, okay? So now this is the front, one of the entrances. This is actually the other side. Okay, it's the front door. Okay, that's a good point, Lillian. He was killing time at the sporting goods store. Okay, until her truck passed. Possibly, but he was in the building before she got there. So that's a great point, Lillian. Okay. Now we get around to the front of the building, and this is the door. That was the door where Missy was found that you just saw, and this is where Missy went into the building. Okay. All right. All right, so let's go. Let's keep going. Whoops. I wanted to show you the rest of the parking lot too. And so what I did is I drove to the furthest point, and I want to drive back here, just kind of give you an idea of how many places of concealment. Look at the tree line away from the road. Okay. Where a homicide suspects don't take those kind of chances. That tree line, if the suspect had parked over there, would have been a really good place to park. Okay. But the fact that he entered from the opposite side of the building in the back there and checked the side door there leads me to believe that he's an opportunist. Because he's checking two doors. Okay. If he wants to get into that building and he has that hammer at the time, okay, he just breaks the door, breaks the glass window, and he's in the building. Okay. But what burglars think about is just that, burglar alarms. If I hit the glass, are there activations within inside of that glass that would trigger the police. If I hit the door, okay, there are ways of dismantling some of those alarm systems. And you'll see when he's in the building here, how he utilizes his tools. Okay? He's utilizing a tool set. Okay? So he's an organized offender in relationship to his burglary tools. And that's what we call them. We used to arrest guys all the time with what they call possession of burglary tools. Okay. Now, think about this for a second. This is coming around, and this second door right there, that's his point of entry into the building. So he's parked behind the building. Okay. But he has a little exposure to the 287, and he could also park way back here, which would diminish that exposure. So if he's blacked out back there, that would be, a good place to be. Okay? Because now there's a little ramp, but he goes up to this side here, and I believe there's reports where he tried to get into that door right there to your left. Okay. So, and what's interesting here, now he's coming out and he has two choices. And I don't know if there's any information about which way he's going, which way he actually turned. But you can, at this intersection here, he can go straight across, or he can turn to the right. If the suspect had turned to the right there, down on the right, I think about 3/4 of a mile, was a Whataburger. And it's been there since 2014. So it was 2 years old at the time of this horrific crime. Okay. So let's go ahead into the building for a second, Dill. Let's see the surveillance tape in the building. Okay, while Dylan's teeing that up, let's answer a couple of questions here. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Anybody got a question? Feels like a hit. Let's see what we got here. Karen Aware. Feels like a hit guy. Told where to go, but not familiar with the area. Yep. Could be. But he had a GPS. Okay, and it took him to the sporting goods store. So that's a great thought. But I think if we take the sporting goods store out of the equation, then we have, we have a little bit more, to go on to that particular theory. Okay. So here he is let's play this surveillance video. Everybody's seen this 1,000 times. Okay. The next door is going to be significant, as we all know. He's got the hammer. He's checking the door handle. Nope, can't get in. So what does he do? He produces a pry bar. Okay. Let it play out. There you go. And he's going to hit it with the hammer. So what is he doing? He's trying to pry into that door. See him try to push it open, and then he puts it back. So let's stop for a minute. Why is this significant? Okay. Because this guy's carrying burglary tools. And he's checking each particular room, and some of those rooms are insignificant. I know, the cafeteria. I know the Cub Scout room, a variety of the rooms inside the business, okay, the church, okay. This guy, he's randomly searching, okay, to the point where he doesn't even know how a barn door works. You'll see him, he opens one of the doors and he's like, oh crap, this is a 2-part door. And he opens the other door, okay? This guy, okay, is more in tune with being a burglar than hunting a victim. Okay? And that's significant. Because while everybody's looking for this hitman and mass, burglar guy, or murderer guy, Okay. They're missing an opportunity to connect the dots and start looking for career criminals with MOs, okay, that this guy is displaying here, modus of operandi. Okay. So keep playing. Now, he's in the church first at approximately, I think, 4:50 or thereabouts. See, he's randomly walking around, checking to see, okay, what's going on here? Here's the barn door. What's in here? Oh, okay. Not sure how this works. All right, there you go. I got it. Anything in there? I think it's a cafeteria. Nope. He's going down, and there's a little bit, he's got a headlamp on. Everybody knows that. He comes back. He goes through another door. I think this was cutting through the cafeteria. There's the headlamp against the wall, the far wall. And now he's got the hammer in his right hand, and it's got, I don't know what he has in his left hand, if anybody knows. So he's using his right hand to open the doors. He's using his right hand to swing the hammer. Okay. And he's just kind of, going, okay, he's coming back. This is where he's going to open you'll see the headlamp again. There it is. So again, this guy is wearing, he's bringing his toolkit with him. Okay. He's not bringing tools to murder somebody, which eventually they are utilized as the tools of opportunity to murder Missy. Okay. So she shows up. This guy's in the building, and she's coming in one door, and he's coming probably, 15, 20 minutes in the building already, and he's ransacking the building. Okay. And all of a sudden he runs into a beautiful woman who is just not going to take no for an answer. And, he beats her. And I think this guy freaked out, and that's why you have the overkill. Okay. And I think it's because he's known to something within a circle of, he knew that he's wearing the cop stuff, okay, that, that could be a problem. Okay. And so could it be a cop? It could be. I mean, who puts on their blinker, driving out of the, the sporting goods store? Probably not. Okay. But it's somebody who's thinking like that. Okay. Could it be a security guard, who's been incarcerated? Yeah, it could be. Somebody with that kind of training or disposition. That's a possibility. But I'm doing my victimology on Missy, and this young lady would have run me through the dirt in terms of physical, capability. This gal was in shape, and you could tell that guy, was eating a lot of chips. Okay, and Missy wasn't, and he wasn't there, for the class. Okay. And what's also significant in this is that guy took a risk if he was there to target and specifically take out Missy. Okay. And the risk is this. Okay. How did he know nobody else was going to be with her? That's one of the problems. Okay. How did he know, or what was the purpose of him ransacking the building, okay, and breaking in the building when all he had to do was wait for her to pull up in the parking lot and ambush her as she's going in the building? Okay. There's a whole bunch of variables and what ifs, okay, but there's a higher probability based on, experience and other things of other people that this was a crime that is horrific in nature, but it's a crime of opportunity that had the makings of an organized offender who was committing burglary, and it became a disorganized homicide. And she probably controlled the suspect at some point, and he panicked, and that type of physical abuse in terms of with that type of weaponry is brutal. But I'll guarantee you she fought this son of a gun. Now, what does this mean? Now, what does this mean? It means that suspect today, okay, is a coward and is scared, okay, that the 5-year anniversary is coming. And I'm hoping tonight, okay, that everybody starts thinking about somebody who is driving that type of silver Nissan Altima, okay? And by the way, if you work at a Nissan dealer, check all of your service records for Nissan Altimas and see if anybody in that geographic region, or probably within 5 to 10 miles, okay, if there's a Nissan dealer, check your service records and see if you see any kind of Nissan silver or light color with that kind of oval sticker on the bumper back there. Okay, and the suspects probably removed it, but maybe the outline is still there because at that point, these guys, they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. Okay, why the cop gear? Okay, 2 theories. Could it be a cop? Yeah, but highly improbable. Could it be a wannabe or a burglar whose MO it is if he gets caught, kind of like he indicated in his behavior by turning the headlights on real fast? Okay, this guy's operating on fear. Okay, this is not a controlled individual. He is a fear-based individual. Okay, so he reacts to that fear. Okay, and that's why the brutality probably to our poor victim here. Okay, he is not controlled in wanting to take somebody out. Okay, he could be the type of person that is kind of organized. But remember, he has his tools over here. Okay, it looked like he was carrying a square fluorescent light at some point, that could have been his headlight that came off of his helmet. Okay, all of this is a facade. It's a facade, okay, to project authority if confronted. Okay, and if he's confronted, he has a way of talking himself out. It's kind of like that guy who puts the blue light on their cars and they throw it on and they impersonate a police officer. That's who this guy is. Okay? This guy is playing cop, okay? But he's probably not the real deal. Okay? So now, could he have been at some point? That's possible. Okay? Probably not problematic. Or one of the indications that would make me think that possibly is because he uses stupid blinker. Okay, only a cop would do that, quite frankly. Okay, or somebody of that mindset where they didn't want the cops, to kind of, throw a big, flag up on them. Okay, so let's stop there for a second. I don't think it was a real cop, personally, ever. Okay? And not this guy. This guy is, he just fumbles too much. But he is methodical in his thought process, where he did do a lot of casing. So that tells me he's done this before, not murder, but he's done a lot of burglaries, and that's why his MO here is significant. This investigation needs to look at guys who are incarcerated, who have the MO that when they were arrested, okay, they had a bag of tools with them. A significant bag. Now, this guy took it to the next level. Okay, he's wearing gloves. Well, why is he wearing gloves? Because he's breaking glass, and he's probably pulling the glass out. Okay, and it goes with the tactical gear outfit. He's got the helmet on for obvious reason, concealment. There's one picture in there where you can see his hand. He doesn't have his glove on. It looks like a white male of I would think, based on what I saw in a picture that I pulled up. Dill, do we have? I sent a couple of pictures over. What other pictures do we have? Let's go through some of those. See the tools there? There, stop. That's a pry bar, and he's carrying that on him. Okay, he's using that to open doors. Okay? So this is definitely not somebody who's looking for Missy. Okay? He's trying to get into different rooms inside the facility. Okay, let's go to the next one. That's the light. You can clearly see it on his helmet. Okay, next one. That looks like where he's in the hallway. That looks like a fluorescent, one of those square flashlights, or it could be the headlamp, or some type of other illuminating device of some sort. Okay. That's there. Clearly, you can see the GPS in the middle before he turns on the lights. There it is. And that plate, I tried to get that plate. Maybe with the Cold Case Foundation, we may have a couple other assets to try to pull that up. His cell phone, they have flashlights. Yep, could be. It could be a cell phone, but somebody else had said that too, and I'm not going to say it's not, but it's definitely a GPS of some sort. Okay, next. There it is, lit up. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to pull it up. Okay, keep going. Okay, okay, stop. Okay, so I saw there's that GPS on the dashboard again, and then you can just see kind of like whoops, where'd it go? That red discoloration in there. I don't know if that's something on the floorboard or if that's a reflection of some sort, but look to the left of that. You can see his hand on the steering wheel, or just below it about 5 o'clock, Dylan. Below that red line, keep coming right there. There it is. That was it. That's the GPS. Then there's a light of some sort illuminating from the interior. And then there looks like to be his hand on the steering wheel, his or whoever that suspect is. And it looks like a white male or a white hand of some sort. I'm not sure if it's a glove. I'm not sure if that's the helmet. Right there, you can see the light, the red light on the right floorboard. Now, could that be a light used to put on the dashboard like a fake cop? And it's illuminated down on the bottom there. I don't know. Could this guy be driving around trying to light up, people, pretending he's officer friendly? I don't know. Okay. But he definitely fits the game of a wannabe. You see here, he's sitting out there in the parking lot, and that is a very distinct car, guys. We need to. That car's they've been looking for that car for 5 years. Okay, somebody knows whose car that is, and if the suspect, if you're watching tonight, okay, they're coming, man. They're coming. Trust me. Okay, next. Yeah. The red light is the radio display. Okay, Dan. Good. Love it. Love it. Okay, this is significant, right? So again, see, he's parked there. He stops though. See his brake lights behind the car, behind his car. His brake lights are illuminated, but his front lights are off, and that's because he's thinking. He's thinking. Okay, this is at the sporting goods store. And this is, I think, is why he aborts this particular target. And why he goes around the front of the building and parks to kind of take it in as if, he was going to second thought this whole process thing, right? You're going to put a second thought in. But this is the deciding moment right here. This is where he's deciding whether or not he's going to do this particular target. Okay. Because the next moment, immediately after this, he turns the headlights on as if he's supposed to be there. Okay, Dale, anything else? Then let's answer some questions and see what people are thinking here. Oh yeah, so this is the church and the sporting goods store. That's how far away they are from one another. There's one more, I think. And this is the points of entry around the church. This is where we just did, the back door double boarded up and broken. So that's where he came in. He tried the side door. Looks like he tried to break the side window, I'm assuming. And then, then he went around the back and popped in through the back side there. Okay. And this is where Missy was observed going in. All right, that's another Google shot of where the church is and where the sporting goods store. Now, remember, these aren't side by side. These are within, that's a significant different distance. It's probably, half mile, 3/4 of a mile away from each other. And again, when he comes out of that, again, he's got to come down the road, okay, past the church on his left to the sporting goods store to turn in. And then he's got to go out of the sporting goods store to the right, turn back around, make a U-turn, and go back to the church. Okay, that is not a mistake. Okay, that is definitely something that is happening on purpose. This guy's thinking through this, and my theory is his first target was that sporting goods store. Second target became the church, and third target, unfortunately, became that sweet mom of three, Missy. And she interrupted the suspect while he was in the building. There she is. Okay, so let's go ahead and start answering some questions. What are you guys thinking? What do you have for us here? All right. Do you think this is someone who lives in town? It's someone who is close to that geographic region. However, I have a problem with it, the fact that it appears maybe there's a GPS involved here. Okay. Not a target hit on Missy then. My feeling at this point is this is not a target. This is not a hit on that young lady. This is a situation where he was already in the building and she came to the building after he had left the sporting goods store. And I think she surprised him. And probably he tried to control her. It's a hypothetical, of course. Not going to speculate, but there's a high probability that she was not controllable, and he, just went blitzkrieg on her. Plates from state, I can't tell. It looked like Texas, but I can't tell personally. If anybody else have an idea on that, throw it in the chats down or throw it in the comment in the chat here. Was that car there the day she was killed? Great question. Everything appears that it was one and the same guy. So I'm assuming he was hid the vehicle back somewhere. So Teresa Monroe, would there be anything worthwhile to rob from a church? Yes. There could be, tithes, monies. I've had cases where there's a lot of money sometimes in the churches, in safes, and that also explains potentially tools. If you're going to utilize those tools to get into other locked doors, locked safes, or that kind of thing. And Dill, I hit the wrong button by chance. Who was that other question? Oh, not female, Laura. I'm not leaning that way. I'm not leaning that way. I'm leaning towards a guy. But I think Missy was stronger than him, and that's why he had to resort to the weapons. Hey Chris, love your show. How are you? Are you done with profiling? No. Why didn't Ellie show more footage? You think she's confronted him? Yes, Tops, I do. Love Mike over PE. The reason I'm here is he told me to start my own channel, so I am. And here we are. And I'm, by the way, if you're new here tonight, I'm literally broadcasting from my Airstream in Texas. And shout out to Airstream. I'm in the back here, so hopefully everything looks like it's working correctly. Thanks, Tops. I appreciate you very much. What do we got? Phoebe Beach. How long was he inside the church? That's a great question. I think maybe at least 15 to 20 minutes. That's my understanding, because I think she got there and preparing for a 5 a.m. class, and he was there at least 15 minutes before her. But the thing about that is he already started to break into other rooms inside the building. And by the way, this also leads another good point. He took a risk if she would have found the doors he broke into. Okay, so think about it this way: if she's a target, okay, then he's going to minimize his risk. Okay, but if the building's the target, then that risk gets minimized after the building's discovered to have been broke into. Okay, i.e., the broken glass, broken windows, when the employees show up the next day. Okay, is burglary generally about drugs or gambling or something else? That is a great question, Wishing Bee. It can be a random of every one of those possibilities, or it could be somebody just down on their luck. Okay, but this guy was very organized. This is not his first rodeo. This guy has done this before, and that's where the cops need to also go back and start looking through guys with this. And I said this in the beginning of tonight's program. They need to go back and take a hard look at career criminals who have this modus, who have this MO of dressing like this. Can you explain why do you think it's a male statistics, or what is the reason? Was he surprised by her? Jojo, Ollie. Well, I think it's a male for two reasons. I saw some of the forensics, mock up on this guy. I don't think it's a female because of the brutality of it. Women don't hit each other that hard with a hammer multiple times. Okay, so that's one of my thinking. Okay, Uber Gobbler, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Appreciate that. Texas has blue stickers in the lower left side of the windshield. I believe you had a shot of the left side. Dill, let's pull it up. Let's see if we can see that. Let's take a look, Uber Goober. Love it. If we can find it, while Dylan's looking for it, let's see if we can see that. That's going to be the right side. I'm going to pull one up here. What was the timestamp on the camera? Uber, we're going to look for that. Okay, I don't know if we can see that. That's the other mirror. That's a great catch. If we, let me do this. We're going to go through and we'll take a hard look at some of the other pictures. And if everybody else, that's a great comment right there. Take a look to see if somebody can spot that inspection sticker in the other left-hand corner of the driver's side. Okay, what else do we got, Dill? Okay. Let's see here. It is a male, not a female. Brutality and multiple hits with a hammer. Yeah, yep, I agree. let's see here. I wonder, as watched the several interviews Brandon Beaver's husband did with local media, would like to know what his thoughts of him. So I did, and I take him out of the circle pretty quickly. And the reason is this: that the guy spent too much time at the sporting goods store. And so that appeared to be his first target. Now, I guess we can theorize and we can argue and keep it still on the plate. Okay. That, yeah, let's say if this is a murder for hire, right? I'm assuming that's where you're going. Keep trying. Is if this is a murder for hire, okay, then yeah, I guess, we could say that, the guy got lost. Okay. But the problem is he makes multiple circles around that sporting goods store. Man, that guy is trying to commit himself to that building. And by then, at that point, if the husband says, yeah, she's going to be at the sporting goods store at 5:00, yeah, I put him in the circle. But that the case here obviously is, he would have had to say, yeah, she's going to be at the church at 5 a.m. Okay. So, now could he have been there waiting for her truck to pass? Yes, that's possible. But the problem with that is he was already in the building when she got there. So great question, brother. I appreciate you throwing that up. Rowan, buying all that gear to commit a robbery must have a significant in suspect personality. Yeah, no, great point, Rowan. This guy is your classic wannabe. This guy is that dude that quite frankly would throw a light up in their dashboard for you and me and pull us over. Those guys are, they're not Raptor type. So, good thought. Thank you for sharing that. Joe, Chris, is it possible the individual killed Missy and the individual who drove through the sporting store not the same person? It could be, Joe, absolutely. But I think the cops have been leaning this way for quite some time. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. That's a great point. Throw it down in the comments later on when we're done here. I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, we'll keep that on the plate too. What else we got, Dill? Wishing B. Okay. The interim body language says he's acting for the camera. Burglars walk and act fast pace. Okay. I guess, Sharon, that's a good point. I think this person's methodical though. And where do we get indications of that, right? The guy pulls a crowbar out, or to pound on that door, and then what does he do? He stops and he puts it back, and he's positioning it. Okay, that guy's not in a hurry, and he's definitely not waiting for somebody. He's taking his time to get through every one of those doors. Did the crook steal anything from the building? I do not know that. I don't believe so. I think that there were reports even that he didn't take anything from Missy. And that also could explain some of the brutality because he's frustrated. Okay. That one, he got interrupted, and two, he knew at that point that he's going to go down, and three, he's now has a somebody who's running a boot camp, a gladiator boot camp, who's not going to go easy. And this girl is going to take you on. And trust me. And she would have. And she did. I'll guarantee it. Phoebe, he looks to be nosy, so slow looking at all the rooms. Why didn't he get in and out if burglar? Because that's the way they believe they can be. He's methodical. Okay? Evident of the fact that he cased the first door. That's a great point, Phoebe Beach, and that's exactly why he went to the first building, to make sure that he had the time to do what he wanted to do. And that's why this was probably a crime of opportunity to get into that building. Okay, next. Great question. or point. After he killed her, he surely would have taken something at least if he was there to steal. Well, he may have. We don't know. He may have found some things. He had some things in his hand down the hallway, but again, he was just breaking into random rooms. Okay, and remember, most of her other training camps were outside in the parking lot. So it just happened to be raining, and it was a random situation that she was going to go into the parking lot. Well, that was Friday night, but what if or that was the night before, but what if that morning it wouldn't have been raining? So there's a whole bunch of thought process this guy would have had to put into place to randomly catch her in that building. Okay, so he had to take a big chance. That's why, again, I'm leaning towards opportunity. I find it odd not rushing through trying to find things to steal, not knowing when one would show up. Yeah, that's why he tried 2 points of entry. Okay? And why he's high. That's why he parked behind the building. Okay? He parked behind the building. Okay? How did he know she was going to come through the front door? That's what he's got to think. That's what we got to put your mind in the perpetrator. He's taken a risk by saying, okay, I'll break this back window out, okay, and go into the building knowing she's going to come through the front door. Okay. And then randomly walk through the building, do all these other things, knowing I'm going to catch her on the other side of the hallway there. Okay. I don't know, just too much. There's just too many things. You have to remember it's 4:30 a.m. Yeah, good point. Yep. But she posted on Facebook, class was in the church. Yep. Okay. And so he's got to take a chance, Mary. That's a great point, but he's got to take a chance that nobody else is coming with her. How does he know she's coming by herself? That's a problem. Okay? That's a problem. Again, we go to pre-incident behavior. That's what they call that. What was the pre-incident behavior? Well, everybody's focused on the church. Nobody's focusing on what he did at the sporting goods store. And that's where I would start. That's where I'm starting. That's where I'm starting this investigation, personally. And you see what happened the moment we started going back to the sporting goods store. We started to see how this guy thought. Okay. And then other things start to reveal themselves. And then it makes more sense as he gets to the church. The interview room, as her body was outside, also her body was outside the building. He was going to take her. Okay. I don't know that. Okay. I thought it was still inside the building going towards the side entrance there. But if her body was outside the building, then yeah, it could have been not only an interrupted act, but a sexual assault. Did he break the window to sit back to see if silent arms sound? It absolutely could have been. Absolutely. But the problem is he's outside of his vehicle. So now, as big as he is, he has to outrun a dog, because 90% of the time you're going to send a canine unit to a burglary in progress. Ted Bundy's ghost. I love your name, man. That's awesome. My opinion, in case the sporting goods store being smart, looking to see if there might be any prying eyes nearby. Then he got dressed, prepped under the light at the store to see if there'd be movement. Possibly. Yeah, love it. Love it. Love that name, man. Maui Girl, Chris, is there video of the car leaving the church? Maui Girl, I don't know. I don't know that. If somebody else has that answer, maybe we can get that answer. That'd be good. Mimi J2, would you agree that if it was a robbery for money, he had to continue to get some? Have they checked that? Yeah, I don't know if money as much as stuff would play into this guy's role here, because there's really not going to be much money at the sporting goods store if he's targeting that store, but there'd be a lot of stuff. And I think he got frustrated and he left, and then the church was on his right, and he said, well, what do they got here? And makes the right turn. and goes in, and he's in the building, doing a thing. Joy Van, it was a hit. Okay. Show me. I mean, what your thoughts are. Tell me where you're coming from. Wendy Henshaw, her body was found inside where mats are for her class. Thank you. Okay. Is it possible we arrived early for a planned stage robbery and had to kill time at the sporting goods store parking lot? AB, it's possible, but the problem is the way he went around the building at the sporting goods store. And let's back up, Dill. Let's show that video one more time, the surveillance video. Guys, let's watch this video one more time of the sporting goods store real fast. Well, Dylan's pulling it up. I'm going to back down here. She was not killed with a crowbar. She was shot. Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that, Gumshoe. Hey, I thought she... Okay, so here he is coming into... again, let's stop it for a second. Again, he's coming... He has to pass the church. He's past the church. He's driving this way, okay? This way. That way. Whoops. That way. Past the church. Okay? So, why doesn't he just turn into the church? He can do it because the direction he's coming, you just turn. Take a left-hand turn, you're in the church. But here, he passes the church and goes to the sporting goods store, which is a good, 3/4 of a mile away. So watch him when he comes in. Go ahead. Okay. Lights are out. So this guy's casing this building. To the right. Takes the position of advantage. Okay. Here's another angle of him coming in. Right there. Far right. He's going to go to the far right take a quick right. He's checking everything out. Brake lights on, slowing down, checking it out. What's going on here? Another camera angle picks him up, coming in. Lights are out. He's still checking it out. Okay. Just kind of, he's just kind of cruising like, okay, what's up with this facility here? Okay, there's a car coming up behind me. He notices that car. And then all of a sudden, he comes around the one corner, slowing down. Okay, checking it out. Nothing there. Okay, I'm good. Looking for points of entry. And all of a sudden, whoops, stand by. 2 cars, stops. No, stop it. That was the decision. That was the moment. That moment, he decided, oh, crap, there could be somebody in this building. He sees those 2 cars. Back it up just for a second, D-Man. Okay. He noticed his lights are out. And then all of a sudden his lights come on. And why is that? His brake lights are on. See him there? He's paused. He's pausing, doing the math. Boom, lights come on. Why the lights come on? You got to act normal now. Okay. 5-0. The cops could be, coming around. Maybe there's people in that building. Okay. So I'll just, flip the lights on. Everything's back to normal for a little bit. But here's where it gets interesting. When he comes back around that building again, okay, he decides to wait it out and think, well, what if they're not in that building? Okay. What if not? What if they're not in there? Do I have a chance to get in? Okay. Follow it around, Dill. Okay. Brake lights are still on. See, he's thinking. Okay. He goes dark again. What if they're not in there? I'm good. I may get okay. I'm back on. Hold. There's a problem. He comes around. Guys, he's casing this building. He's looking for a point of entry into this building. All right, and he's going to come around. He's going to come around and watch what he's going to do. He's going to say, wait a minute. There he goes. I may have a chance here. Let me think through this just a little bit more. Now, if the church was the hit, why not just make the right turn and go to the church? No, he's thinking about this building. And watch what he does. He comes right around, slowing down again. Well, maybe they're not, maybe they're not in there. Let me see. And he comes around. Just to make sure. Headlights are on. Hey, I'm just a normal guy out here driving through your parking lot. That wasn't me 2 minutes ago with the lights off. Nothing to see here. Okay. He seems to be getting cold feet. Exactly, Sharon. But now he's going to think about it again. He comes back in, and what does he do? He parks underneath a parking lamp. Talk about not the sharpest tool in the shed. Okay. Could it be two people that played out that night, Lori M? It could be. Yeah, absolutely. But this guy, everybody's been focused on him. So look how long he's paused here. This guy's sitting here doing the math with his lights out now. Okay. Yeah, either brazen or dumb. Exactly, Melamel. Exactly. Sophie, I love it. Okay. Thanks, Kim. We think so. Okay, he's processing. Okay. Now somebody said, could he be in there changing? That gear is pretty bulky that it looked like, that he had on, right? So, I mean, it could be, I don't know. Typically, I think this guy was dressed up for the part to play cop that night. Okay. So look at, he's just been sitting here. It's pouring rain. I'm sitting here, nothing to see here. And then he decides, you know what? Too many risk. Too much risk here for me. So I'm going to go ahead and leave here in a couple of seconds. And then the one of the best parts for me anyway, that the way this guy's thinking, he's seen cars go by. Okay, none of those are Missy's. Okay, she's not left the house yet, or she's not there yet. Okay, so he's not waiting for her truck to go by at that point. He's more concerned with this building. And when he turns out, this is when he's going to throw the blinker on the car. Okay. Now the blinker it's kind of a, just an automatic reflex. Okay. So you're driving your car and you throw your right blinker on. So you push the right blinker up and then you make your right turn. Okay. And then, as I showed you earlier in the video, if you're coming with us late, go, rewatch this. You'll see that I drove you guys right through where this guy had to come. And he makes this right turn. And now you got to hook a U-turn and go all the way back. And now you're going to pass the church on your right. And that's when he must have turned in to the church, if this is the same guy to some of your other points. Okay. The creepy messages left on Instagram, etc. That doesn't fit this guy. This guy here is a career burglar, or a burglar who's just starting the math. See, there he goes. He lights it up. I'm out of here. I'm a little nervous. And you'll see he's going to come up to the next view here is going to come up. Okay. There's that truck. And that's when he was up there, and you're going to see the other view. This is when he turns his lights on. See, look he's looking inside the building. to see if he sees any movement. And there he goes. And he's going to come up here and watch his blinker come on. Let it run, Dill. And the reason I think this may be our guy, and the reason the police are probably thinking it too, here comes that blinker. That's a random behavior. Just to throw your blinker on when there's nobody behind you, number one. And number two, what's the purpose of that? To tell, the building that you're making a right turn? Okay. No, that's habit. And so this guy is methodical in his thought process, that he's on autopilot. Okay. And that's why all the little tools and, the get up and all of that stuff. So, all right. So that's where I'm at so far. In this case, we got a couple more questions, and then we'll call it an evening. What do you think? What do you guys think? Unless you guys want to said, yeah, the risk too much. Weird behavior, absolutely, Sophie. This guy is not going out, in my opinion, at this point, based on what I'm seeing. The suspect didn't open the door like Ellie. You stand off to the side, not in front. That's correct. That's correct. That's right. This guy is just, I'm telling you, this is a crime of opportunity for him. And I'll bet you anything, our poor victim here, that sweet mom, was one hell of a fight. I won't be surprised. The reason that gear is probably gone is because she put up one hell of a fight. I'll put money on it. Is there video from outside the church? I don't know, Louisiana girl. That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe he's on drugs, paranoid. Could have been, but probably not that methodical. He's probably not being that methodical. Let's see here. Question: what about the nervous to kill her if it was boyfriend or father? What about being nervous to kill her if it was boyfriend or father-in-law? Well, again, we have to take the sporting goods store out of the equation, okay? Because they know she's going to be at the church for the exercise class. And, that means that the sporting goods store has no significance. They could have easily parked anywhere behind that church and, done a blitzkrieg attack. No question about it. But yeah, they could have, anybody could be nervous. A great comment, though. I appreciate that. Can the police track the videos from the direction he came from, pictures at red lights and stores before the area of the crime? If there are video management systems, VMS, yeah, they can go back and take a look at it. And also, with those with that GPS there, if they had a suspect, there are some technologies, believe it or not, once they get somebody nailed down, that you can go back and actually put them in the area. So I'm not going to name which they are, though. How do we know it's the same car if there's no church camera? Great question, MH. That is a great question. I suspect the police have some additional evidence from inside the church that they're not releasing. So that would kind of lean me to that thought process. That's a great question. He wore the getup to not be recognized on surveillance camera. Yeah, Judy Willow would be. Yep, I concur. But he wore it in case he had to confront somebody or something, and that's why he hesitated when he saw the two cars at the sporting goods store. That was a big problem. That was a shift. In this whole thing. Had he broke into that, I would submit to you, had he broke into that sporting goods store, Missy would probably still be here. But do we know the sporting goods store is related at all? I don't know. I don't think it is. I think other than the suspect capered it. Does his attire match the local police attire? No. He looks like a pretzel boy. That guy could have, I don't know where he got his stuff, but, He's a goofball, not the real stuff. It looks, he's got the tactical police, gear, but it's stuff you get off, Cracker Jacks, right? To make you look like the real guy. There are two people in the front seat. Okay, awesome. Thanks, my Derek. Throw that down into some more of the comments, brother. That'd be interesting I want to learn more about that. Interesting. Okay. Are police sure the Nissan is the same car as the perp? Jackie, great question. They have been focusing on that car for 5 years. So I think they haven't shifted unless somebody has some additional information on that. But right now they're on that car for 5 years. So there's something there that we're not aware of yet. Great. AB, new member, thank you so much. Great having you here. Here's the Nissan Altima. Go to a 2012 though, Dill. I think it's a 2012. There you go. I think that could be our car. Could be the bad guy's car. Okay. All right. Good insight. Thank you, Gumshoe. Appreciate the donation. Very kind. Guys, do you guys like the format we got going here? Let me know, in the chats and down in your comments below. And we got a lot more coming for you. As always, we certainly love you guys and we're grateful for our mods. Everything that you do, Maui Girl, Derek, Miss Sophia, Mamie J, thank you guys all so much. You're so amazing. And I can't do this without you guys. And, we're growing. Hopefully one day, I'll hit 25,000, but I'm having fun just, doing what we're doing here. And we look for you guys to come along. We just started the Discord channel. Dylan's going to throw something up hopefully in the chat here about the Discord. And thank you so much, everybody, for staying up late. If you stayed up late with me tonight, thank you. Hopefully you sleep better. No, and then Canada, shout out, Austria, South Africa, Europe, the United States, all the great people out there. We sure are grateful, and we got a lot coming. We're on the road, so keep it up for this particular case. Don't forget Suzanne. We've got, I think her birthday's coming up. Don't forget Kelly. Definitely in Florida. Do not forget Maya in San Diego. Okay. These sweet women need justice. And all three of them have one commonality. They got a guy, okay, with the exception of one, Kelly. Eddie's saying some things, okay. He's not doing a whole bunch, but he's saying some things. But the other two guys, Larry and Barry, they're not doing a thing. Okay. So we'll do it for them. Okay. And we're not going to let go. D-Man in the back room, we love you. Thank you so much for everything you do. And guys and gals, be good to each other. Until the next time, aloha and have a good evening. Dill, take us out, buddy.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe.